first guy that we'll talk about is your boy Kenny Pickett, man.
Yeah.
Now you had a chance to tune in as well, man. So for me, or do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first with that?
I could go first.
Oh, yeah, you go.
I thought he looked fine.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't anything crazy. Wasn't in long enough. 6 for 6. What was it? 60-something yards and a touchdown. Underthrew the one. Probably could have been a for sure touchdown, but ended up scoring on the drive anyway, so it didn't really matter like that much. And maybe, you could tell me if I'm wrong on this, maybe he was underthrown in a way where if he would have let him, the safety could have jacked him up. But it seemed like the safety was far enough away. It still should have been like a walk-in touchdown. Maybe I'm stretching there. Maybe I'm giving some benefit of my doubt to one of my Pitt alumni. I thought he looked fine. I don't think he did anything that hurt his draft stock, because even some of like the little 10-yard passes he was making, he looked on point. So, yeah, he looked good to me.
Yeah, for me, starting with Kenny Pickett. First off, he was named the MVP for the practice week for the national team.
Really?
Yeah, Malik Willis was the one for the American team as well.
Who's quarterbacks on his? It was Ritter and...
he had Ritter
and Strong.
And then for Pickett was with...
No, that was
Pickett. For Malik, he had Sam Howell and Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing that I liked about Kenny was this. I thought, number one, he looked very confident.
Yeah.
I thought that he got the offense in and out the huddle good. And why do I bring that up? That's your leadership. That's your maturity element of it, right? When you see how quick and clean guys are getting lined up, getting in and out the huddle, that's important, because the faster they get lined up, the more time that quarterback has to process, the more time that quarterback has to go through his checks, hard count, etc. So I definitely like that about Kenny. I thought that showed. I thought that his mechanics and accuracy looked good as well. Outside of the one throw that you were talking about where it was a little underthrown, I thought as a whole his mechanics looked good. Even though, the touchdown pass, it was more so on the blown coverage. You look at the ball placement. He puts it in front where the guy can catch it and go. He can catch it and run, which is important. You throw it behind him, that guy has to spin, stop his feet. Now in that blown coverage, those guys might be able to get back
even
in
the
position.
Ability to recognize the coverage.
Absolutely,
like that, get it to him quick.
Absolutely. So those are some of the things that I definitely liked. In terms of the negative or any potential negatives, the throw that was a little underthrown, part of me thought that was a little bit with the footwork. I didn't think it was anything crazy, though. I don't question, can he make that throw? I think at times you're going to have bad throws. I mean, Malik has them. All of the quarterbacks have them. I'm not as concerned about that throw right there, because at the end of the day, if that's your miss was still with a 30-yard completion. So when we're doing the context of your misses and comparing it to some of the other misses, it's like, no, that's still a good miss in my book. In terms of the sack,
it wasn't picked, because the other misses you saw from
were
Zappy,
interceptions. Yeah,
exactly, underthrows,
and that's a big difference to me. And obviously Kenny Pickett got sacked as well. Now the sack was on the protection, that wasn't on him. I know there were other guys that got sacked, and we will break down those sacks because some of it were the quarterbacks holding the ball too long. But with Kenny, it was the blowing. The blocking assignment was definitely messed up. I don't know if it was the center or the guard, but they definitely turned that inside backer free, and then the edge guy just beat the right tackle, and that was going on with his sack. So I didn't think that was a negative on him. But as a whole, I thought he looked good. I thought that, I don't think he did anything to wow us or
I don't
make
think he was
it a
in
negative.
long enough.
But yeah, and all of those guys though, and that's the problem with these type of games. You get a quarter audition, and depending on, did you get a drop? Was it a penalty? Whatever. That type of stuff can affect your performance or affect your audition. But for Kenny, I thought that in his time on the field, I don't think he did anything to hurt himself. Now, nope. I was hearing the reports, and the commentators kept talking about this in terms of him having a little bit of an up and down week in practice.
But he won MVP?
Yeah, and that was the part for me where I was like, I wish I could have got more details on that. But that's just right now with the Senior Bowl, because it's this year's Senior Bowl, we don't got access to all of that stuff just yet.
Yeah, I was surprised when you said he won MVP for his team, because I was hearing way more buzz about Malik Willis, obviously, and even like Zappy. Carson Strong was getting some practice.
No, he definitely was. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
With Pickett, I mean, going back to like the leadership thing, I thought he handled himself good in interviews too.
He definitely did, man.
Whenever they kept bringing up the hand size, you could tell he was getting annoyed by it, but he's just like, you know what? No, I'm confident in my abilities. I played in Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. Obviously, I could throw the ball pretty good. Right. You see my performance. The one, too, he even was questioned about why should you go number one. Malik Willis said, like, man, I ain't even about that.
Yeah, he said, I ain't even worried about it.
We're just all trying to help each other, like get better and stuff. Like that'll come into place. But Pickett was like, yeah, like that's what I do. Like I'm just out here to show that, prove that. So no, I thought he was good. I like both answers though, too. Just
I do as well.
They're different ways to do it.
But and also when you hear Kenny talk versus Malik, they're very different people also. And like I said, not in a negative way, just different. Like, for example, Kenny Pickett after the game, right? He's like, yo, I'm about to go get me, was it the natty lighter, the icy lighter? I forgot it was what.
When we won.
Yeah, when they won, all right.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you think of Malik. Malik is like, man, we got quarterbacks out here that go to Bible study. They want to talk about guys. It's like, it's not a negative. It's just, they're just different people. So when you hear their responses.
He's legit then. I know Liberty's like a Christian school.
No, yeah. He's
Malik's
legit.
Into it like that.
Yeah. So it's like, when you hear it, I'm like, yeah, one does sound like, yeah, because in Christianity, it's like, yo, we're all in this. Man. I want all of us to do well. And it's like, yo, he's just a humble guy and it's dope. But for Kenny, it's like, I do this. Like, I'm here to be me. Like, yeah. So I love both of them. I think both of them were very humble in their responses, but both of them were very confident as well.
Yep.
Because to say either answer in that climate, man, that's not an easy thing to do. For you to say, yo, you know why I'm here? Oh, I'm here because I think I should be that guy. That takes confidence. But also to say, I don't think I have to be number one. That'll sort itself out. I'm here for everybody to do well. It's like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. When I went to the combine, I wasn't saying I wanted everybody to do well. In fact, I was the opposite. I said, I'm gonna cook. I hope the rest of y'all fall at the start position so I could look really good out here.
Pickett gave the Burrow answer, and Malik gave the Russ answer.
Yeah, I was definitely Burrow energy. It's like, yo, I don't care about none of them. It's me y'all want to see. But no, as a whole, though, man, I definitely liked what I saw from Kenny, though, man. I'm with you.
Yeah, he was fine. I don't think he did anything. I got to see him at Pitt, so seeing him in this Pro Bowl, or not Pro Bowl, like a preseason type of atmosphere, it's like, all right. I'm just happy he didn't do anything to hurt himself. Right. That was my main thing.
Well, and but when you talk about the maturity, you've downplayed it. You call it Pro Bowl. You're like, man, it's an extra game in preseason, stuff like that. For those guys, it's not that. For those guys, that game is more important than any game they played this year outside of a national championship, because this is going to determine them making it to the NFL or not. This is going to determine you going top 10 versus second round, which is a difference of like $20 million. So for those guys, that was a very, very important thing. But I thought that Kenny definitely handled it well. Like I said, it never looked like it was too big for him. The moment was overwhelming him. And that was something that I can't necessarily say about every player that was in that Senior Bowl. Some of those guys that were talked about, some of those guys that had a lot of hype about them, they did at times look a little underwhelming to me, some of these guys, man. And we'll talk about them even more. But yeah, but to close it on Kenny, we both said good performance by him.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair enough.
Net positive.
Yeah. This show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. And they have something new going on this time, Deke, because we know it's the big game this weekend. Y'all know we can't say the big game. We got to go to the big game. Y'all know the game I'm talking about this weekend, the big one with the team from LA and the team from Cincinnati. You know them two teams we talking about, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what DraftKings Sportsbook is doing for all of the first-time users out there, baby. If you use the promo code MOATS, like it always is, on this bet this week for the big game, 56-1 odds. Okay, so you got the team from LA, you got the team from Cincinnati. Put your money down on one of them. Okay, 56-1 odds. So essentially, a $5 bet will win you up to $280 in free bets. Now, this is the kicker with this, right? So to break it down for you, you put your $5 in on the LA team, right? You're like, I like the LA team. They got a kid, from Pennsylvania that I happen to like a lot. All right, we win the bet. Boom, we get that 280. From there, you take that 280, and now you can use that to bet on anything and everything you want right on DraftKings Sportsbook. So
great deal.
Stop wasting time, bro. It is a great. I mean,
can I say this about
talk
DraftKings
about
too?
it, bro? Absolutely.
I really don't like betting hockey, but and one of the reasons is a lot of these betting apps don't have nice same game parlays that you can use. They won't allow it. I go to DraftKings. They have some really nice ones, and I really appreciate what they're doing with the hockey betting.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to put money on the big game, get your 56-1 odds. Or if you want to put money on the ice, baby, either way, use that promo code MOATS. But, Deke, we also know that at times, some people have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
We know at times, Deke, some people can overdo it.
With the big game coming up, I could see that happening. I mean, many props.
It is the big
So many
game.
parlays you could be doing.
I mean, it is the big game. So with that being said, with the big game, I got to do it like this, okay? Because if you know someone, or if you happen to have a gambling problem, crisis counseling, or you might need referral services. Well, Deke, I got to tell you, you got two things you got to do. First off, you need to dial 877-8-HOPE-NY. Okay, for my New Yorkers out there, 877-8-HOPE-NY. But for everybody else that's not living in New York, y'all know what y'all need to call. Y'all need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. I say, you need to call 1-800-GAMBLER.